Hello, dear colleagues, dear friends from all around the world. It's been almost a year since I made my first video about Zoom. On this video, I will focus on how to host a meeting by using Zoom controls professionally. Before doing that, I want to share with you some statistics of and some settings in the back end. Well, as I said, it's been a year right now, and I've been to, me and my team, let me show you, yeah. We've been to 487 Zoom meetings and 21 webinars through our accounts. Probably half, maybe more, maybe 200-300 meetings from other people's accounts. So roughly speaking, we have joined over 800 Zoom meetings and webinars. So here I am to share our experiences after 12 months. Well, we met people from all around the world. From France to Peru and Honduras and Romania and China. And we have seen that 70% of the people either use Windows or Android, but then 30%, which is significant, they use iOS, Mac, iPad. That means when you are hosting a Zoom event, you need to understand that not everybody is using the same device. And you may need a testing team, or let's not call it a team, but friends who possess different devices so that you can test and see what's going on, because what you see on your screen may not be what others see on their screens. Okay, that is very important, my dear friends. About hosting a Zoom event, well, first of all, you need to make sure that you have proper settings, and Zoom settings, although it is evolving, still needs more user friendliness. Or maybe this is maybe this is the most user-friendly software I've ever seen in my life, but still they can improve it. Well, why I said they can improve it, because Zoom settings are on different places. For example, when you are dealing with meeting settings, it is here on the top. But then if you are using a business account, which we do, then you need to go and deal with the account settings, because if certain things are not enabled on the account level, they may not work on the individual level. And then if you have a webinar account, then you need to do the webinar settings. And if you want to personalize your Zoom, do some branding and everything, then you need to go and do the advanced branding setting integrations. After hundreds of meetings and things, I think we have a fair understanding of most of these functionalities. I wouldn't say all, but most. And luckily, Zoom keeps evolving itself. I think they release an update maybe every few days. Sometimes I see 10 updates in a month. So things a year ago do not stay as they are. Things change very rapidly. Let me stop screen sharing and take you to my screen. On the top left you see Otter. Otter is a nice live transcription tool we've been using for some of our clients. It allows you to go and edit these transcripts. Yeah, you can. And if you have noticed, when I keep talking, the artificial intelligence edits what I have said, and if it misunderstands certain terminology, and if there is a live typist and corrects that terminology, then Otter keeps it in memory and gives you a more accurate transcription. This is an option. However, if you are using Zoom Business like we do, then you wouldn't need Otter.ai. For the sake of the demo, I'm stopping this live stream. Okay, I stopped it. So my menu on the bottom looks a little bit crowded than usual because I tried to enable as many settings as I can. For example, polls. Normally you wouldn't see it. I did it for you. I mean, click on it and there are questions I prepared, and when I launch it, the audience will see it. Yeah, and then the audience will vote, and then I will end voting, and then I can share the results. Very handy. I mean, you can add as many questions as you want. You can even create polls during a meeting, which is very interesting. And the practical side of the polls is you don't need a third party tool. I mean, I hate you know using another platform when I am in a meeting. I want everything on one screen. So for many occasions, this polls feature is very handy. Next to it is the chat. Well, as a host, you can go click on this more and you can say no one can do it. Only host. I mean, you can do the chat settings here. Okay, this is how you do it. Oh, I close it. I open. I close it. Okay. Share screen. As you can see next to share screen, there is an arrow. Click on it, and you can say, okay, one participant at a time, multiple participants share simultaneously, and there are multiple participants is nice when you are comparing different ideas. Like you have a chart, I have a chart. Like for example, they are reconciling accounts in international company, and you are interpreting for them. So you may need this enabled. On the advanced sharing, there are even more things to do that as a host you can arrange. But then also, I mean, I started with the back end because think that there are things you can solve in a meeting. There are things you cannot solve in a meeting that you need to prepare before the meeting, like a poll, okay? Or like a breakout room setting, because you can't just create it in a meeting. You have to enable it before. If this breakout is not enabled, if live transcription is not enabled, if interpretation or polls are not enabled, you won't have these things on your screen. I enabled this for the sake of the demo. Okay, so and there are some of the things as a host you do, they apply to all users, but then some of the things you do, they only change your settings. And these are all trial and error. Well, you don't have to trial and error. You can go and watch videos like my videos, and there are thousands of other videos. Or, there are training programs like we also offer. If you want training, we will be happy to train your team on a reasonable fee. But then, for example, I clicked on this and I showed you there are, okay, this and that settings. But when people click on share screen, they see different things and they may not know what to do. And some of the options may not be available for certain computers. For example, on advanced, I see PowerPoint as a virtual background is not enabled for my computer because this function is on beta, and they only enable certain chipsets like Intel i7, I think, and maybe i5. I'm using AMD, so it's not available for me. But there are video sharing options, content from second camera. You can also just share a sound and add some ambience. You can share files. So the advanced settings are personal, and you need to make sure that the users understand this. So I highly recommend that you schedule a demo session with the panelists so that you make sure that they can share their screen properly, and they can share audio if they need to. The other thing is record. As a host, of course, you can record, or either locally or in the cloud. But what you record to the cloud is the speakers. Panelists. What you record locally is your channel. If there's an interpretation and you add an interpreter to the meeting, select a language. We have several more like Arabic, Mandarin. Not everybody has it. Because we are an interpreting company and we do interpretation in so many languages, therefore we have additional, but normally people have 9 languages anyway. But if you enable interpretation, like let me do, uh, hold on. Of course, it's only me, so I can't just. Okay, yeah, it's me. I can assign myself. As soon as I start interpretation, since I am the interpreter, it says welcome. But if I wasn't the interpreter, that will be a different screen. You must have seen from my previous videos. I mean, okay, so I mean, when I am locally recording, it only records my channel. If I'm in French, it records French. If I am in English, it records English. But if I am in the cloud, it records the speaker, not the interpreter. So this is something that you may need to be careful of. Breakout rooms and transcriptions, as I said, like polls should be enabled before the meeting. Let's go to transcription. This comes with Zoom Business. When you enable auto transcription, see what happens. Now it's on. This is not Otter.ai. This is Zoom's built-in own transcription, and it is equally successful. I like it. You can also use third-party tools, but Zoom now gives it for free. What you can also do is you can view full transcript, which just opens this. That means on the right of the screen with time codes, you will see what has been said. Quite successful if you are using a headset. If you use the computer audio, it is not as successful as compared to using a headset. I think most of the issues with Zoom and video conferencing is related to not using a professional microphone. It is so important. I mean, microphone and camera are the new ID cards. I mean, they are like your business card. If you don't sound okay, I mean, you don't have that charisma anymore. I have seen, in United Nations meetings, I have seen government leaders, presidents, inaudible. Can you imagine? I mean, a president is speaking, and nobody can hear her or him. I mean, that's so absurd. I mean, we are in the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, and camera. People see a room that is so bad, so disorganized. I mean, that is why there is a background setting. Okay, maybe I should. Maybe I should just go click and close this transcription and also maybe hide it. So, okay, now subtitles are hidden. Zoom keeps doing it in the back end, and after the meeting, it is downloadable, it is shareable, which is a good thing. It is not perfect, but if the meeting minutes are needed, very handy, and it comes free. Why not use it? The reactions, I love it. It's, for example, raise hand. You raise a hand, see, it's very large, visible, and people, that means you want to ask a question, or you can send emojis like this. Okay, I mean, not every meeting is serious. Sometimes you are dealing with kids or friends, or you can say yes like this or no. Very good. Very good. My my nephew, he thinks Zoom needs to add dinosaur and other funny emojis. I mean, please Zoom, please do this. This more when you are a host gives you the broadcasting options. These are free. I mean, you can go live on Facebook, Workplace, YouTube, or you have a third-party streaming platform that where you can do it, but one at a time. If you want to stream on multiple resources, then first you stream on a restreaming platform, for example, StreamYard or Restream or something like that. And those platforms can then multiply your Zoom to as many accounts as you want. I mean, sky is the limit. Turning to the left on my screen, I see security button, which is very handy. Let's click on it. Okay, you can lock a meeting. Very practical. If you don't want people to come and disturb you, once the people are in, you can lock it. But then, of course, when you lock it, people cannot get in. Um, I suggest you always enable waiting room. That means people, even they know the passcode, unauthorized people cannot access. Hiding profile pictures is good if you don't want, some funny or, I mean, there is nothing as so as silly in absolute, but still, I mean, if you want to, hide some unwanted images, you can say hide profile pictures so nothing will be seen. Here is my profile photo. I try to use a business like photograph which shows at least half of my body, my face, a tie, because I'm a professional. And also, I mean, this photo is 5, maybe 6 years younger, so good idea to have a nice photograph. Okay. Yeah, it's the security. You can disable or enable share screen chat, renaming themselves, unmuting themselves, starting video. This unmute and start video is critical because when you have, dozens of people in the room, and if everybody, turns on their microphone and speaks at the same time, it's very disturbing. So you want to mute everyone and then, I mean, disable this. Means they cannot unmute. That means only hosts can unmute themselves. So what is a smart idea could be mute everyone, make the speakers a co-host, and they can mute and unmute themselves as they wish. Same applies to start video. This red one is great when there is really an attack on your meeting. But I mean, to be attacked, you must be very careless. Like, I mean, sharing your meeting details in a WhatsApp platform. Lots of people do that, or on Facebook or Twitter. Means everybody knows your ID and passcode. Then you can enter. I mean, but even if that happens, you can always suspend activities and remove people who don't want, and then continue your meeting, and then you can lock it. I mean, these settings are so great that you can that helps you easily at a click can add security to your meeting. Last but not the least, on the left there are microphone and video settings, but please bear in mind that these are your personal settings. So if, for example, I have this background, but I have it, all right? Uh, you may see in some meetings like, uh, you know, some of the, users have the same background. Uh, I mean, it's possible to enforce a background if you are in the same under the same account. For example, I own Dragoman. I can force all Dragoman account users to use the same background in a meeting, but not for all the meetings. I mean, it's not democratic. But for the sake of the demo, I want to show you a couple of things because you may need to train the speakers. One of them is choosing virtual background. I mean, look at this. So nice and friendly and warm. Okay. Uh, but then videos are nice. You can always add a video or image. I think to add a video you need minimum 16 gigabit of RAM. If you have 16 gigabit RAM, you can add video. Hey, surfer in the background. Why not? Meetings don't have to be boring. I mean, during this pandemic, we are already bored. I mean, we are deadly bored. And I mean, it removes the taste. I think it is in Norway and Denmark. They teach kids 7 dimensions of taste. And it's not just feeding or the actual sense, but, to togetherness or, aesthetics and many others, they add a taste. And during this pandemic condition, um, we don't have the sense of togetherness. So maybe, using these nice gimmicks will help us have some fun. You can add a video filter like this. or this, or funny ones, this. I mean, I can make myself a pirate. Here I am. See? And then go and okay to the filters, effects, and I can change my eyebrows. There you go. I can add a mustache. Yeah. Okay, even better. And I can even change the color of my mustache. Okay, now I have red. Okay, or this blue. I have blue. Okay. I say alright. Then, oh, lipstick. Why not? Add some tone, some pink. Okay. So now I look more colorful. Well, the thing is, make sure to to check these things before the meeting because your son, your daughter, or your friends, your nieces may be playing with the computer. It recently happened to a lawyer in the States, and he was in front of the judge and having a cat filter. So what you need to do is go there and studio effects. Okay, reset media filters, none. There you go. And if you don't want to appear with a surfer, well, before the lockdown, I mean, I sensed that this will not go away quickly, so I took a photo of the main part of the library or the bookshelf, let's say bookshelf, in our office, and I think I made the right decision because after the earthquake, that building was terribly damaged. We have already evacuated the office, but people could be in the office if we weren't careful. Anyway, so for serious meetings, I can have it this, or for others, I can have different backgrounds. The audio settings, I suggest that you make sure that the correct audio is, for example, this is the computer, this is my headset, this is my webcam. So make sure people are on the right microphone. Plugging in your microphone does not mean that you are using that microphone. For example, right now my microphone is in, but it is for recording on a different software, not on Zoom. The Zoom is taking at this moment, Zoom is taking audio from, my computer. So make sure the correct audio device is selected. The settings are more advanced than you can imagine. By default it comes automatic, but I unselect it because I want to play this separately. But then there are so many other things you need to learn, and the advanced one as well. This background noise suppression is very good. It's really very good to hide, crying baby sound, or dog barking or cat. And this original audio is good if you are giving a music class, or if you are in a yoga class. It gives the original audio. Otherwise, Zoom adds filters to its audio session. Oh yeah, so settings are also accessible from here: video, audio, share screen, chat, background filters, recording, and also statistics of the meetings. But I'm sorry, your own statistics, how much computer load you are adding. And I think I should tell this, I'm using at the moment Zoom's 5.5.1 version, which is probably the latest version at the moment. Make sure to update your Zoom, because not everything I showed you will be available in earlier versions of Zoom. Well, I think this was a long video, but I just tried to summarize some of the key functionalities as a host you will see on your screen and you need to master. Don't be shy, buy an account, try it, test with your friends and colleagues, ask to the experts. And as a university, institution, corporation, if you have a budget, come to us, we can train you. But I mean, I think after all these things, you will maybe you have already, but I mean, maybe this one's a more persuasive. I hope this is a more persuasive video to confirm that we need professional Zoom hosts during a meeting. The larger the audience is, the more hosts and co-hosts you will need, because there are so many things to control and to make sure. As I said, not everybody is using Windows, not everybody is using a computer. There are mobile users and everything. So make sure to have technical people who know all these functionalities and will help you to run your next Zoom meeting smoothly. If you are in doubt, you can always come to me or to my company. Dragoman is at your service. Stay safe and healthy. It looks like we have another year or two, maybe 3 years with this pandemic. So let's hone our digital skills. All the best. Take care now. Bye bye.